Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator, today with Pillarless Tabletop Games, today with Dragoborne. So I found some random ass cards for this game at a thrift store up in Springs. Some estate sale place in the mall. And I was like, what the hell is this game? I've never even heard of it. And of course it didn't last very long, but I decided to pick up some starter decks or trial decks because it's Bushiroad and see what the game is about. So, as part of the game, playing the game, you're going to need a deck of 50 cards plus 3 banner cards. For each banner card, you will need a die of that color because when you use your dice, that's where they will end up as shields if you use them as shields. At the start of the game, after you decide who's going to be the first player, players will have their banner cards face down. Because apparently, I don't know. Who knows why? Oh, they're planning to do something special with the banners or why that is? I don't know. If it really matters where they're set up. You'll shuffle and draw 5. So, 5 cards. This is your initial hand. So, you'll know it's a creature because it'll have an attack and endurance value, and it'll die up in the corner. Start your hand. And then, you have the option to mulligan by shuffling any number of your cards back into your deck and then drawing again. You probably want to put high cost stuff back into the deck along with fort burst ability stuff. Okay. But once you're done doing that, you will fill each of your 3 forts with 2 cards each. Alright, and we'll turn banner cards face up. And it goes to the first turn. So the first thing you do is if you have any resting monsters, they will stand back up again. Then you will take your dice and you will roll them. And you now have access to those dice for protecting those forts or applying them to your creatures. But for now, we'll put them aside. Okay. And then at resource step, dice, then draw. You'll draw a card from the top of your deck and add it to your hand. And then resource step, put the top card of your deck into your resource area face up in reverse. So there's that. So you now have another one of these resources to play with. Your banners also count as resources, but they cannot be moved from their locations, representing the 3 forts. Alright, so main phase. To play a creature or spell, you look at the cost. You need to rest that many resources, and one of them has to be that color. So, say, what's a good way to get out a lot of creatures really quick? Let's see. Probably get out these 3. So to tap or rest those two and put out a Gold Leaf Hunter here. There's room for each fort for 2 creatures each, regardless of the fort's condition. 1 and 1, 1 and 1. You'll notice some of your creatures might have abilities like automatic. If it's blocked by a Drago Shield, it gets +2 attack. Or this one, if this is in a state of Drago Cross with a red die, it gets +2/+1. In addition to the normal bonus from the Drago Cross. There are spells that will play and resolve and they'll go to your discard pile. There are ambush cards. I will say ambush. You can pay 2 and put them in front of your fort. Any 2 resources will do it in rest position. And the ambush can only be used if you have a banner of the same color and when the condition is met. Okay. So you could put it here if we had to afford it. There are certain spells that are ambush only. You'll know them when you see them because there will be a little dash up in the cost. Now we can go to assigning dice. Now I'm not going to be able to attack on. There's no attacking on the first turn, at least for me, at least for the first player. So we'll put those for protecting. However, we're going to Drago Cross the Carbuncle Imp. If you put a die on a creature, it'll get +1/+1. In addition, because this is the red die being used for the Drago Cross, it's an additional +2/+1. So that is a 4/3 Carbuncle Imp for the time being. Next turn we'll have to reroll all the dice. But let's say we're actually, let's say someone's doing their turn against me, and they've already played the monsters and stuff, and they're going to attack. So first is attacking. Command your creature to attack an opponent 1 at a time. So put the attacking creature to rest and declare the fort you're attacking. So say we're going to let's say they've got these 2 creatures against me. So first off, they're going to attack with this creature. If there is a Drago Shield, it has to block, and it will take the damage. So their attack of 2 against the 2 would remove it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Once it takes damage equal to or exceeding its value, it's put back in the dice pile. Now there's no dice there, so now there's an option for me to block against theirs. So if I do block, attack and endurance, damage equal to the attack is dealt to the creature, which will track with these extra dice. And their attack will be dealt to me. Damage accumulates until the end of the turn, and then it's cleared. Because there's no massive blocking type of thing. you've got enough time to whittle someone down to nothing. So there's enough damage that both will be destroyed. Oh yeah, when you declare someone to block, you'll have to put them at rest as well. So the attacker lost their creature, I lost mine. But let's say they also had a third one out as well. If there's nothing to defend a fort at all, the damage will go through to it and destroy a card. When a card is pulled from the fort, it is, you take a look at it before you put it into your hand. There's a possibility it may say something like Fort Burst, at which point you will resolve the Fort Burst effect if you choose to. But you gotta decide before it goes to your hand, or else you'll lose that opportunity. Right. There will be abilities that trigger when attacking, when defending, when damage is dealt, or at the end of the battle. So keep an eye on those. But eventually, once the attacks are done, they'll go to the end phase. If a player has more than 7 cards in their hand, they discard down to 7. Any damage that was on creatures, if they weren't destroyed by now, will be cleared. And then if all the players' barriers for their fort are destroyed, they lose. Other things that might come up include switching your creatures between forts or moving them around, whatever. Other dice things, like this one, if the die was on it, as a Drago Cross, gets the bonus. This creature checks if there's a defending Drago shield. There are things that check to see if certain dice are at certain values. So if you have things that can manipulate dice values, that might be effective as well. There are other abilities as well, including, other than ambush, there's assassin, to deliberately attack creatures, deadly, to just destroy creatures regardless of the amount of damage, immune, which cannot be chosen or dealt damage by spells or abilities of the color trait, invade, cannot be blocked by creatures when attacking for the specified color, but can still be blocked by the Drago shield. Others I've seen come up have been Siphon. I've had to look up things that would explain that rule. There's supposed to be a comprehensive rules PDF for this game online, and it is missing completely. But yeah, there'll be other stuff as well. But yeah, they'll just go back and forth until someone loses all their forts or somebody runs out of cards. If you need to draw and you have like no cards left, you lose. Yeah. Draw cards, roll dice, use dice to maximum effect. It's an interesting back and forth idea that I'm going to be demonstrating in greater detail with a showdown video later. Do I even like this game? I'm not sure. I've still messing with it. It's kind of impressive just how much of the card the art takes up. Like, that's about 80% of the card for that art. Not having a text box. But yeah, A card having a card-based system including dice has always been one of my bugaboos of game design. But it is kind of a curious approach that you can make use of the dice like that. But yeah, I have the first 4 trial decks. Shadow Legion, Mystical Hunters, Alpha Dominance, and Reaper's Gift. Have also been sleeved, and I'm open to seeing which matchup would probably make for a more interesting demonstration. So if you're curious about seeing which of those two you want to see fight it out, let me know. But yeah, I had no clue this game even existed until I just came across those cards. There's one thing. You might come across random cards somewhere, anywhere. You might ask, okay, but how do I play this game? Can I even build a deck with it? Deck building. Again, 50 cards, maximum of 4 copies per card, which I always appreciate. You can include cards regardless of whatever color they are. They don't have to match your banners, but that's part of the strategy, is making use of that. So you may not have banner cards or dice. I think to that extent, those things can be and should be proxied, should be allowed to be proxied. Just say, black banner, yellow banner, red banner, blue banner, green banner, smash. And just get the matching dice for those. And, as long as they're 6-sided and they're numbered 1 to 6 and then matching the color, you should be good to go. But yeah, I have a lot of extra cards to work with if I want to do any messing around with the trial decks. What else was bugging me about this game? Oh yeah, there's one rule change that I would propose as a house rule for this game. So you have the draw step where you draw a card, and you have the resource step where you take the random top card and put it into play. Here's my suggestion. Instead, you draw 2 cards and you put one of them into the resource of your choice. Sure, you might get 2 of the same color, but you can choose to let go of the weaker monster so that you have access to something better to play with. It just makes sense to me to do it like that. Yeah. Another rule I would also propose is you can re-roll 1 die. You can re-roll one die a turn. Even if it's the same, having that opportunity is better than nothing. I don't know. The game is yet another dead card game, but there's always room for finding this, whatever decks are left and trying to get something going. There's still decks left for Eve. There's still decks left for Cyberpunk. There's still decks left for .hack. There's more. There's a lot of card games out there that could get some more appreciation and played some more. So give it a chance. You never know. It might be your thing. You never know. So give it a shot. Alright, thanks very much for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus. I'll see you next time.